Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, my name is Zhafirah and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we are going to the main video, I'm gonna introduce myself to you guys. So my name is Zhafirah, like I said less than 1 minute ago, and I'm 18 years old and now I'm studying at Jambi University and I'm taking an accounting major, Faculty of Business and Economics. So the main reason why I'm making this video on my YouTube channel is because my English lecturer, Sir Donny Efriza, asked us to make this video for our midterm assignment. And the video is about skimming and scanning. I'll begin to explain what is skimming and scanning with the example on a text. I will insert to you guys in the text later, and how to use that reading techniques when we are answering the question. So stay tuned in my video. So guys, basically skimming and scanning are both reading techniques. This reading skill help us to get information from the written word and access the required information more effectively. They are used of fast reading abilities, but in effect the methods are different and with different purpose too. I'm gonna explain to you these reading techniques one by one. Our first stop is skimming. Skimming can be understood as the technique of speedy reading wherein the reader pay attention to the main point within the passage only. The reader mainly reads the information of the text which is introduction, summary, bold or italic word, bullet points, name, heading and subheading, dates, figures, and etc. But next, I'm gonna explain to you what is scanning. Scanning is another method of fast reading, but this one is reserved for people looking through the text to find a specific information. When we are use scanning, you will be looking for the keywords or phrases. So this will be especially easy to find if they are names because they will begin with a capital letters or number or dates. I'm gonna insert the comparison chart of skimming and scanning, and I also write the key difference between skimming and scanning. I will insert the screen recorder to you later on. So guys, this is the comparison chart that I have told to you, and there is a basis for comparison, skimming and scanning. So we started from the meaning of skimming. Skimming is a way of reading something in a fast manner so as to grasp the main points. And scanning in the meaning is to look carefully and quickly at the written material so as to locate something. Method of reading, the skimming we use the quick one, and the scanning we use the selective one. Involves of skimming is reading out the maximum content in minimum time, and involves of scanning is finding out the required data. Next is objective of skimming, to take a bird's eye view of the text, and objective of scanning to spot and catch a specific facts. And the last is the familiarity. In skimming, the reader is not familiar with the text, and in scanning, the reader knows what he is searching for. And I also write some key difference between skimming and scanning. We started from number 1. Skimming can be defined as a type of reading in which the reader reads the text quickly to have an idea of the concept, subject matter, main points, and adjust without paying close attention to the excessive detail. On the other hand, scanning refers to the reading technique in which the reader moves his eyes over the entire text in order to locate a specific keywords which he or she has in his or her mind. Number 2, skimming is a quick reading method, where scanning is a selective reading method. Number 3, while skimming involves reading out the maximum amount of the material in the minimum time, scanning is a method of researching out something in a fast manner. Number 4 is skimming technique is used with the aim of taking an insight of what is contained in the study material without reading it word from word. On the contrary, when the reader uses scanning, he or she wants to find out the specific fact, keyword, or information of his or her need. The last is skimming is used to get. Okay guys, back again with me. After you guys see the screen recording of the chart comparison between scanning and skimming, and also I insert some key difference between that two reading techniques, and next I have prepared some screen recorder of the example of the text that we are going to use to learn about skimming and scanning. And why I use a screen recorder to you guys, because I just wanna all of you can see the text clearly and watch the read techniques correctly. So let's get started. So this is the first text that you guys see in my screen recorder, and actually I insert two texts with the 3 questions per text. In the first text there are a short paragraph and I gonna explain to you. But before I explain about this text, you guys should know the skimming techniques basically is where in the readers pay attention to the main point of the passage. In this text, we know that the first sentences of the text show the main topic of the text, and also we can read the last sentences to see the conclusion of the text. So, gold, a precious metal, is a prize for 2 important characteristics. First of all, gold as a lustrous beauty that is resistant to corrosion. Therefore, it is suitable for jewelry, coins, and ornamental purpose. Gold never needs to be polished and will remain beautiful forever. For example, a Macedonian coin remains untarnished today as the day it was minted 23 centuries ago. Another important characteristic of gold is usefulness to industry and science. For many years, it has been used in hundreds of industrial applications. The most recent use of gold is an astronaut suit, and astronauts wear a gold-plated head shield for the protection outside a spaceship. And in conclusion, the gold is treasured not only for its beauty but also for its utility. And here I prepare a 3 question about this short text. The first question is, what is the topic of the text? For searching the topic of the text, and we just go to the first sentences of the text, that is a gold, a precious metal, is prized for 2 important characteristics. So the answer of the first question is gold. Number 2, what is the main idea of the text that I have said to you guys? The answer is located at the first sentences of the text. And the last question is, what is the conclusion of the text? And we can search any conclusion of every single text with read the last sentences to get the conclusion. And in this text, the conclusion is the gold is treasured but not only for its beauty but also for its utility. Next, I have prepared the second text. It's about a fashion. So let's start it. Prada is an Italian fashion label who specializes in luxury goods for men and women. The company was founded in 1931 by Maria Prada along with his brother Martino. It began as a little goods shop called Fratelli Prada, or Italian for Prada Brothers. In the beginning of the shop sold a leather and handbags imported from England. Mario believed that women should not work in business. He prevented a female member of his family from entering to his Prada company. However, Mario's son was not interested in the business, so it was his daughter who became the successor and ran it for almost 20 years. Mario's granddaughter Miyuka Prada joined the company in 1970 and took over her mother and inherited in 1977. Prada headquarters are in Milan, Italy, and there are over 250 boutiques worldwide. And also I have prepared the 3 questions about the text below, and the first question is, what is the topic of the text? Like I said in the previous text, if we want to search about the topic of the text, we just look at the first sentences that I have right. Is about Prada, is Italian fashion label who specialize in luxury goods for men and women. So the answer is the history of Italian luxury goods named Prada. Number 2, when the company was founded. And because it is a skimming, we can find the answer with something that the words that make our eye so focus. There is in the second sentences is the company was founded in 1931 by Maria Prada. So the answer is the company was founded in 1931 by Maria Prada. Number 3 is in the text there is the word Fratelli Prada, which is mean. And we back again about my explanation about the skimming. Skimming can be understood as the technique of speedy reading, wherein the reader pay attention to the main point within the passage only. And the point is the reader mainly needs to read the intro. Next is scanning. I have already prepared the next text is about scanning short text. So we have already know that scanning is another fast reading method to find a specific information. So this will be especially easy to find because it begins with a capital letter or number and date. Let's take a look of these 2 texts that I have already prepared for you. An old-age pensioner managed to stop a 10-ton wagon using only a pram, making the wagon reverse for 3/4 of a mile through the park. 83 years old Mrs. Nora Petstow was playing with her grandson Wayne in the Jubilee Park Dudley last week when she saw a 10-ton wagon attempting to take a shortcut along the pedestrian-only path across the park. Furious that he was breaking the law and putting children at the risk, she pushed her pram in front of the wagon and refused to move. The driver, Mr. Eric Smithson, argued with her for some time, but eventually had to reverse all the way back to the ring road. Mrs. Petstow told our reporter that, "I knew he wouldn't knock me if I stood my ground. Wagon drivers keep using the park as a shortcut to avoid the traffic jam in the town center, but they shouldn't do it, and one day a child will get hurt." Mr. Smithson was not available for comment. So I have prepared 3 questions here, and the first question is, who stopped a 10-ton wagon? And as we know in my explanation of scanning, scanning is another method to fast reading, but this one is reserved for the people looking through the text to find a specific information. So the 3 of the question is a specific information type, and like who stopped the 10 wagon. We can find the answer because the question is just asks us to find the name of the who stopped the 10-ton wagon. If we want to find it quickly, we just search about the name of the woman in here that started with the capital letters. That there is the and the name is located at the second sentences. Name Mrs. Nora Petstow. So the answer is an old-age pensioner named Mrs. Nora Petstow. Number 2, how old was Mrs. Nora Petstow? It's really easy because if we gonna looking for a specific information, we just look like capital letters or number or something that eye catching. So there is the answer is on the second sentences. 83 years old Mrs. Nora Petstow. So the answer is she was 83 years old. And the last question is, what was her grandson's name? In the second sentences where the 83 years old Mrs. Nora Petstow was playing with her grandson Wayne in Jubilee Park, Dudley. So the answer is Wayne. Next, we are going to the second text that related to fashion too, like the skimming one. So Guccio Gucci was born in Florence in 1881 and founded a house of Gucci. His inspiration for his brand luggage came from his experience in 1897 as a porter in the Savoy Hotel, London. Gucci started out with leather goods such as a bag and sold them to the horsemen. Later on, he expanded into the luxury brand industry. In 1921, he opened his first store in Florence in 1938 and his second in Rome. From 1947 to 1948, the iconic bamboo handle bag was introduced, and in the 1950s, his trademark razor strip was introduced, and Guccio Gucci passed away in 1953 at the age 72. However, his legacy continued with Gucci expanding internationally into Asia, Paris, and London. After Tom Ford's statement into Gucci, the brand began to be restored in the 1960s, and when the stars such as Grace Kelly and Audrey Hepburn, who made the brand chic at the time, Gucci goods were considered to be a statement. Until now, Gucci is the most expensive brand in the world for consumer goods, having around 270 stores around the world. There is a 3 question that I have prepared. The first question is, who is the founder of Gucci brand? Like I said, if we want to know about the center of the text, we just looking for the first sentences that Guccio Gucci was born in Florence in 1881 and he founded the house of Gucci. So the answer is Guccio Gucci. Second question is, in 1921, Guccio Gucci started to open his first store in, you just look at the main words is in 1921, and we just looking in the text in 1921, and we can find out that in 1921 he opened his first store in Florence in 1938. So the question is, where is the Gucci start to open his first store in? It's located at Florence, Italy. And the last question is, until this day, how many stores that Gucci have in around the world? To answer this, we just look at the question type, and until this day, how many, and how many is related to the number, right? So we just looking for the number that amount to the Gucci store that around the world. So the answer is the last sentences that until now, Gucci is the most expensive brand in the world for consumer goods, having around 2,070 stores around the world. So here it is. The answer is about 270 stores around the world. So we are at the end of the video. That was the skinning and scamming material that I can explain to you guys. So if I have a mistake during the video, I really sorry, and I hope this material will be useful for you. And I just want to say that thank you for all of you that have watching my video and coming to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.